One of the most talked about topics in professional wrestling this week has been about the future of Impact Wrestling. There's been so many remarks, comments, speculation, reports that really it's having, I don't think, a positive effect on the company. And as a wrestling fan, it does concern me a little bit hearing all of these reports and seeing what seemingly is going on within the company. Now, this is not me actually jumping on the bandwagon and, saying, oh, TNA's going out of business, Impact Wrestling is going to be finished. I'm not jumping on the bandwagon of, putting the downers on Impact Wrestling because I would actually like to see it continue. But the reports and everything that's been going on. I mean, looking through a lot of the different websites, there's been so many different theories or speculative theories about what is happening, what is going to happen. There's so many alternate theories, it's almost like an episode of Star Trek. Now, one of the things that I actually have heard is an audio clip from an interview that Billy Corgan did on Sirius XM. I believe it's called Busted Open Radio, I think the program is. Now, one of the things that really concerned me is that he stated that for the last 3 television tapings, he had stepped in himself personally to finance those tapings. Now, as a fan, to hear something like that, obviously that's not a good thing. For him to literally step in at the last minute, even to the point where people can hear it. It's on SoundCloud. Actually, the audio clip is on SoundCloud. That's where I heard it. Just search for Billy Corgan's Sirius XM interview or Busted Open Radio. Lots of people have been sharing the clips. I'm sure a lot of people have heard it, but he even states that he stepped in at least one occasion, and I don't know whether it was the most recent occasion, but certainly on one of the occasions, he stepped in so last minute that he even describes as the ink on the contract still being wet when they made their way to the ring to start the show. Now, that is seriously concerning to me. There's been lots of different rumours, lots of different speculation about Impact Wrestling, about whether they can survive. There's been lots of reports, lots of people commenting about the finances of the company. Up until at least yesterday, and looking at the situation as today has unfolded, it seems that tomorrow's big event, the biggest event of the year, it's supposed to be their WrestleMania, but unfortunately, I feel rather like WCW. They had Starrcade, but it never really became that major event. It was a major event annually, but it never reached the level that WrestleMania is. That we all know WrestleMania is the big, the big stage for WWE. That it's that massive event that takes place on these huge stadiums. WCW, certainly, of course, in the later years, it didn't have that status, and unfortunately, Bound for Glory, which is supposed to be their kind of WrestleMania, well, that and Slammiversary, it doesn't have that same WrestleMania-esque feeling. There was lots of fears that that event tomorrow would not take place. Due to the finances of the company, that would not take place. Now, the situation, as far as I understand it right now, is that it seems to be going to take place. Unless we hear otherwise within the next about 24 hours, which I don't think we will, it seems that Bound for Glory is going ahead. Apparently there are Impact Wrestling staff organising things in Orlando where it's taking place, and that Impact Wrestling's Bound for Glory will in fact take place, even though unfortunately we learned last night, I believe it was, that Drew Galloway will not be on the show. That is due to, because a lot of people have been speculating that as well, that is due to injury, not, he's seen the company maybe go down, the future uncertain, he's wanting to jump ship. it is actually a legitimate injury. He injured himself in Newcastle, England, about 3 weeks ago, and he's not being cleared to compete. That's really the truth of the situation, because that guy does not miss shows. Genuinely does not miss shows. I mean, a great showing for that is when he won the TNA World Championship. For whatever reason, he missed his flight back. I believe it was from Germany. He spent $3,000 of his own money, approximately, in getting to the Impact Wrestling taping, buying himself a flight so he can get there in time. I don't know whether I don't think he even knew that he was going to be winning the TNA World Title at that point. He paid just simply to get back to the Impact Zone, to get to, or wherever it was they were holding that event, and to actually appear to do the shows. I know, I've kind of gotten to know the guy a little bit in the Scottish wrestling scene, to know a little bit of what he's like, and he doesn't miss shows. We know that he doesn't miss shows here in Scotland, so he's obviously genuinely injured. Now, obviously, one of the things that's been reported as well is about whether WWE would come in and buy the company. Right now, there's lots of different reports that WWE's in to buy the company. They're out to buy the company. They're in looking at, they're in play kind of to buy the company. They're out of play to buy the company. They're not going to buy the company. They're either going to buy the company or they're not going to buy the company, and that keeps changing. I think every couple of hours somebody reports, WWE aren't interested again. WWE are not interested anymore, and so that continues to change. Whether WWE would buy the company, and obviously if they did, what would WWE do with the company? I think they would be buying it for the tape library, for the assets, like they did with WCW. And to be honest, right now, I feel that if WWE was to buy TNA, the way that they would buy it would be like they did with ECW, and that would be buying it out of bankruptcy. I think that would be the situation where I see WWE acquiring Impact Wrestling, TNA, whatever the name is. I see that as being the situation, that if that ever happens, if Impact Wrestling goes bankrupt, maybe WWE would buy the company. But to be honest, right at this time, I don't see WWE, the McMahon family, buying TNA. To be honest, I think that is a non-starter. Now, Billy Corgan, also on that Sirius XM interview, and he said it publicly several times on Twitter, he said it on different interviews, he seemingly intent on actually acquiring the company. He's president, and he's paid a lot of money into the company. I don't know what the agreement was. I think, to be honest, I believe that Impact Wrestling is reaching a pinch point right now. To be honest, I don't know what the entire financial situation is like. There's lots of different reports again going around. Whether how much of it is true, I don't know, but there's different reports saying that the company is in debt to at least a couple of million. Again, don't know. I don't have access to the finances, so I don't know how much of that is true. But if that is true, obviously that's a bad thing for the company. I believe, though, right now, to be honest, looking at it, I think Billy Corgan, we don't know what the agreement is between Billy Corgan and Impact Wrestling. We don't know. Apparently, he owns a slice of the company now. We don't know what the agreement is regards to any money he has put up to ensure that the television tapings, and there are fears regarding the television tapings following Bound for Glory. Although Dixie Carter came out today and said that fans should tune in to the television tapings after Bound for Glory, so it looks like we may actually see that. It seems right now Bound for Glory and the next set of television tapings will take place. That's what it seems right now. I don't know, to be honest, because the way I'm feeling right now is I'm kind of getting the feeling that Billy Corgan putting up this money for the television tapings, etc., I get the feeling he's slowly but surely maybe buying the company. He's kind of he's paying for these television tapings. I don't know again, we don't know what the contract is between him and Impact Wrestling. So is he slowly, bit by bit, by putting up this money, his own personal money, as he makes clear on that interview? It's his own personal money. It's not. He's not leading a group of investors. He's not gathering a lot of people to put in money. It's not from any other company. It's his own personal fortune, his own personal money that he's putting in the company. I'm kind of thinking that he may be thinking, well, I've got the rights to more and more of the company because I'm putting up more and more of this money to finance these television tapings, to finance this. And he talks, there's things that he said, even in the audio clip that I heard, that there's things that he's set up and he's organised that he can't legally talk about. I get the feeling that he may be thinking, I don't know, again, I don't know, depending on what the contract is or what the legal agreement says between him and Impact Wrestling when it comes to him putting up the money for the television tables, but I get the feeling that he may be in the mindset, and whether it's true or not, I don't know, that he is actually slowly but surely purchasing more of the company and putting himself in a better position to buy the company as he puts up more and more money for these tapings and more money for any organisational things behind the scenes, because that is the indication that I got, that he's paying for more than just the television tapings, that he's paying to organise things, to maybe to shoot those Hardy Boys or Hardy Brothers vignettes. I get the feeling that he may be thinking he's more entitled to the company. Now, obviously, I think the big question really is, in this whole situation, it's Dixie Carter. What her attitudes, what her, not capabilities, but what her attitude is really towards the company, what her thoughts are when it comes to the company. I don't see that Dixie Carter would easily let Impact Wrestling go. I think certainly, again, if Billy Corgan ends up, maybe due to the money that maybe Impact Wrestling owes him for any money that he's put up for the company, for television tapings, for anything else, I can't really see her letting the company go, or letting a lot of control slip from her grasp. Now, I think, to be honest, that's the one thing that I'm kind of stuck on. If Billy Corgan was to take over completely, we've seen her step down as president, which may be maybe an indication that she actually, I don't know if she has a good relationship with Billy Corgan, or whether she believes, okay, we can use Billy Corgan to finance the company and I'll step back a little bit, but I'm still going to be there. I'm still going to be one of the major players in the company, and so I'm still going to be there. I'm still going to be involved. She really doesn't want to step away. I don't know whether that'd be a good thing for the company, but again, it may be, because my fear is, and again, I'm not looking for the company to shut down. I'm not coming on here and saying, oh yay, Impact Wrestling might be shutting down, or Impact Wrestling might be going out of business, and kind of being a vulture. We'll wait and see what happens, and they're going to go out of business. I like it, as I said, I like it to continue, but I do fear that maybe Billy Corgan might reach the point where he's putting up more and more money. If Dixie Carter resists Billy Corgan too much, I think there may be a point where Billy Corgan, that's the danger in this situation, there may be a point where Billy Corgan says, you know what, I don't want the company anymore, I'm actually walking away, you owe me this amount of money, I'd actually rather have the money than the company at this point. And it may end up, and I'm not saying that would happen, I'm not saying it will happen, I'm saying it could happen, that perhaps Dixie Carter might overbleed Billy Corgan, for better word. He may put up a lot of money and then realise, and maybe come to the decision it's not worth it anymore. So maybe, again, I'm not, she's probably a really nice woman, Dixie Carter, but I do fear that maybe she might actually make Billy Corgan reach the point where he thinks it's not worth it anymore, I'm walking away. And if that happens, I think Dixie Carter could maybe lead the company into trouble. Again, I'm not saying that this could happen. I'm not saying this would happen. I'm not saying that this will happen. I'm saying it simply could happen. Dixie Carter, if she resists too much, if she doesn't let control of the company go too much, if she doesn't let control of the company go away for her enough, I think she might be the sticking point, and maybe that might, in the end, bring the company down.